Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today it's the 22nd of April 2024, 3 minutes past 4 in the UK. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. In the first time in 6-7 years I've been running this channel, we're flying a Dornier. We're in the Dornier Do-31, one of Microsoft Flight Simulator's Legend Series aircraft. In fact, we've never flown one of these before, but because I'm a Microsoft Flight Sim Premium owner, like many of you here, you can pick it up with a discount. It was $10, so I thought, you know what, it looks like a lot of fun. I had a look at the preview video. Into Blue Simulations is another channel. I had a little look at his video, and a few years ago I remember Mustard, which is a great YouTube channel with some factual videos on aircrafts and all sorts of things in the past. They had a really interesting video about it, and I thought, you know what, let's purchase it. I had a play of it this afternoon. I went on Discord, had a play of it there as well, and I thought, let's fly it from where one of these actually exists. So we're currently in Germany, Friedrichshafen. I'm doing my best to pronounce that correctly. We're going to zip over to Zurich, 40 miles away. We'll try and do a touch and go, some hover takeoffs, hover landings. But essentially, it's a 10-engine jet which flew back in the 60s. It was the first of aircraft that was going to hopefully what they hoped would be the future of aviation. This was sort of a jet transport category aircraft which could carry a lot of troops, I think about 35, 40, or trucks and jeeps in the back of it, and they thought that this would be the future, but alas it wasn't. But a lot of technology went into this, which went to development into other aircraft as well. It had a very basic computer, half analog, half digital, which worked all the systems as well. It's the first ever time on a stream we've actually flown an aircraft with 10 engines. So we have 2 conventional engines here. These are Rolls-Royce, I think, Pegasus engines or something like that. And there's 4 engines in each wing to helm hover this aircraft. And I believe it's created by AnyBuilds on behalf of Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. But yeah, it's a bit of fun today. Is it accurately modelled? I have absolutely no idea, but it is a challenge to fly. Now, there are some co-pilot assistant features, but we're not going to use those today. We're just going to use the co-pilot assist feature to start the engines, but I'm actually not going to use any of the cheats to hover and land this thing. We're going to fly it as realistically as possible as well. But yes, an absolute ugly machine, I think it's fair to say. What on earth is sprouting out of its nose? I don't know. It's some sort of pitot tube. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at it. It's straight out of a Jerry Anderson production from the 60s. Very Thunderbird-esque, isn't it? But look at this thing. There's 4 engines in each of these pods. There's loads of videos on YouTube about this aircraft, which is really cool. But yeah, we're here in Friedrichshafen, which is where one of these is on a static display. I think they built 3 of these in total, and yeah, it flew. They went to air shows in the 60s as well. Looks like the Harrier, doesn't it? So it uses conventional turbofan. These tilt to hover the aircraft. Little controls, as I said, in each of these tips, and a little jet control here as well. Absolutely balmy. But yeah, why has it got a massive skewer? I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, some facts about this aircraft. Check out the Mustard video. It's in the video description. You can learn a little bit about it if you so wish. Anyway, who we got here in chat? Jessica Hunt, thanks for 25 months as a member on the channel. Hope you're doing very well. Thank you very much for the support as well. I can see people referencing unicorn horns here in chat. Yes, it does look a little bit like that as well. Listerman said it's to smell the enemy. Yes, brilliant. Possibly. That might be why they have that there. GT, hello. My time catching a live stream here. Just found your channel 4 days ago. Welcome on board, GT. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for popping in to the live stream. Akhtar, thank you very much also for your 23 months as a member. Both yourself and Jessica, 1 month away from getting your alpaca badge. Thank you very much for your support. I think there's a blowtorch on the front. Revenge. Brilliant. Harold, do you do a low fly over a farm, stick some cattle in fly fucking to cook the steak? Unbelievable. But yeah, let's talk a little bit of what I've dreamt up today for this sector. So here we are, we're in Germany. This is Friedrichshafen. I've got some freeware scenery available here. There's Lake Constance, so we're going to take off from here. I don't have live weather on because it was very dark and overcast, so we've just got a few clouds on today. I might, for a laugh, take this on VATSIM on the next stream, because it has got an autopilot. You can fly an ILS, you can navigate using VOR. So we're going to take off from here, fly over Lake Constance, just fly 40 miles to the southwest to Zurich. We'll do a touch and go here, and then we'll do a hover landing, and then we'll fly back to put this aircraft back to sleep again in the museum as well. So probably take about an hour and 20 minutes this stream. Nice little short zip over sector as well. I'm following the checklist which is included, and yeah, it's just going to have a bit of fun. And also for your entertainment, look at my setup today. I have an Airbus side stick with a Boeing throttle quadrant flying a Dornier jet. So the way this is set up is This left throttle quadrant, if I jump into the cockpit here, this controls engine number 1 and 2, the main engines. So you can see as I move that up and down, that moves. This one here, it won't move because the engines are off. This controls the 8 engines in the pods for the hover jet. So you have to sort of combine the two when you go and transition. And I'm not using the autopilot function for this. It's quite challenging. But yeah, if we crash today, which is very likely, I've only ever crashed on one stream before. You're all here to watch it live as well. Avpilot says you should remove the nose cone in the FB. It looks better without it. No, I like my nose cone, and what I really like is if I use the Toby eye tracker. Look, you can get a real impression of how long it is, and it's so good to have Toby eye tracker here, because when I'm hovering, look, you can get a reference if I look down through that window whether you're stationary or not, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'll be utilising this. Now it looks like I'm in the Millennium Falcon or the B-29. It's crazy. Look at, you can see out there just at the engine. The 3D model is very, very nice on this. Yeah, $10 this cost. Excellent. Right, let's turn the music down. It doesn't take long to get the engines started on this thing. So, as I said, I'm following the interactive checklist here. Now, fuel-wise, this is an absolute gas guzzler. I've loaded the tanks to 50% because what I've found, if I start loading more than 50% fuel, it gets too heavy. It won't hover. So, yeah, let's get to Zurich, land after that. We're going to do a touch and go and then do a hover landing, see how much fuel we have left. And if we have sufficient, more than 25%, we'll do the return sector. Otherwise, I'll refuel there. So, preliminary cockpit inspection. The battery is off. The engine generators are off. The external lights are off. Conventional engine thrust levers, those are those two, are in idle. There's the vertical engine thrust lever, that's also in the idle position. Engine start cover is open, we just verify all the switches are off, and then the fuel pumps are off, which are here on the pedestal. Again, I'll be making references to this checklist round, and we just verify the parking brake is set, which it is down there. And now we're going to firstly start the conventional engines, engines number 1 and 2 on the wings first. Domino Mosina says, wish Jow would buy you one of these to fly. I think I wouldn't want to fly this aircraft in real life. I think when they first flew, it had a lot of crashes and incidents, but it was the first of its type, and by the time they'd finished developing it, it was quite a capable aircraft, but it was just, I think the Cold War sort of fizzled out, and they didn't see the need for the aircraft anymore at all. Hey, y'all want to go on a cruise? I got an ad for it, said 0 Point here. Brendan says, what on earth is this monstrosity? It's the Dornier Do-31. Perfect. Right, let's get it started anyway. I'll turn up the sounds of the sim here. So battery on, that's right up here, I believe. There we are, battery switch on. You can hear it powering up. Turn on the beacon. And you can literally go straight into starting the engines. There's probably a few additional switches to configure in reality, but you can hear it starting into life. You can see the beacon light is flashing on the top here. So we're going to open the engine start cover now, which is down here, and we're going to start engine number 1. As I said, it's a bit of fun. Is it a serious aircraft? It was in reality, but we're just going to try and fly it using the system here. As I said, let's see how we get this thing started. So engine 1 master is on, so that's these switches here. Engine 1 ignition on, and then we'll move the starter to on, which is this switch here. There we go. So you can hear it spooling up. So there's the percentage increasing. We've got percent RPM on 2 gauges. I guess one's for N1 and one's for N2. You can see it already spooling up there. Romulus, does our routing today avoid populated areas to reduce the collateral damage? No, we'll be fine. Engine 1 master fuel switch, I think is up here. Yes, let's get some fuel into the engine. There we go. The EGT light up. Can you imagine the racket this thing made? So we're going to do a hover takeoff, but we'll taxi out to the runway first. There we are, starting engine number 1. So EGT's in range. Well, I don't know what the range is. I guess, oh yes, there's some little gauges here, so as long as it doesn't exceed the maximum engine start, that's fine. We can now turn the starter off. It does sound like the burst jet, doesn't it? Monitor the engines, and we're going to repeat this now for engine number 2. So we can take the starter off now. Perfect. I need to pre-save the view for the first officer's seat. Now starting engine number 2. Make sure the engine's above 18%, which it is. Fuel on. So you got 2 engine instruments here for the main 2 engines, and 8 engine instruments for the hover jets. The hover jets, we'll call them. You turned off the starter back on for number 1, oh, did I? Oh yes, that must be off. Perfect. So we'll just get the this RPM gauge into the area before we move any switches. The Millennium Falcon was inspired by the B-29, wasn't it? I'm not so sure. Pancake Sparkle, welcome aboard as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. I hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chat. Thank you very much. Right, so that's all good. EGT in range. Engine start switch to off. Close the cover. There we are. After engine start. So put the generators on now. They're up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Engine start cover open. I've just only closed it, but we verify the engine 1 and 2 starter switches are in the off position, and then we can close the guard. Fuel pumps all on, which are here. Lots of switches. Excellent. Fuel pump switches are all on. There we go. Beacons are already on. Now we need to start the vertical engines. Okay, so both conventional engines are running. For this, you press this button here, which is the press that, and it'll turn all the engines on for you instead of you having to do it individually. So make sure that light goes green. That's like the co-pilot engine management system. Vertical engines, check their spooling. Are they spooling? Uh-oh. I think they're going. How do I know they're starting? Well, on the test sector that worked. Or maybe they've already started. No, because the temperature's down on 1. Oh, I know why. Didn't put the fuel in. There we go. All good. Pancake Circle thanks for your membership and says, damn, that plane's weird. It is. Hoverjet sounds like a new NFL team based in Southampton. Brilliant. There we are. Look at that. 8 engines spinning. It's... I mean, what a gas guzzler. There they are. And see the little doors have opened up automatically for the 8 engines in the wing. Superb. Right then, so... vertical engine start, temperatures monitor, conventional engines are idle, co-pilot assist mode as required. Right, taxi clearance obtained, brake pedals check. We'll just turn on the taxi lights. Well, we'll just turn on the... oh, that light's not click modelled. We'll just extend the landing lights. There, oh look, they're in the little pods there. It's just a really big area, basically, yes. Right, and now we're going to taxi out and leave these little engines running here, just to give you an idea of how much fuel we're burning. We've already used a percent. You can just see it's been sucked out of it, but we'll leave it at 50%. Right, if I release the parking brake, it should just go off on its own. There we are, look, parking brake released. We're on our way. It is very dangerous for these individuals. He's going to be blown into the ground by the 4 hairdryers. Oh, that's going to be feeling very hot. Right, we'll taxi out. I don't know which runway this is in this direction. Taxi out to runway 24. Perfect. So it's only going to take us about 10 minutes to get over to Zurich. Live time, not quite live weather. I'll press B to reset the QNH. Should be 1013. So I'm having to sort of hover on the brakes here. Check the flight controls. Full left, right, forward, back, right, left rudder. There we go. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Even that text looks like it's from Thunderbirds. I've turned off live weather listening just for this one because it was so cloudy and overcast here, and it was made the sim very dark. Cool. Now, just before we take off, we'll tune up the Zurich VOR. Perfect, and we'll hold here at November. So we'll talk about how we're going to route there. No cheating today. Right, there we are. So we're at the whole point. Parking brake is set. So if I bring up Zurich and the VOR, you don't get it on the ground here, but as soon as you take off, we should tune it up. The VOR over the airfield's 11485. So what we'll do is tune that here. Switch that to nav 11485. And if you look at Navigaph, you can see the track. I think it's magnetic. 249. So what we'll do, we'll set on the course down here 249. So as soon as we get airborne, it'll be pointing and telling us how to get to Zurich with the DME distance here as well. So we've got something to get to Zurich with. Right, so how we're going to take off? We're going to hover. We're going to do this. There's three ways of taking off in this aircraft. Okay, you've got the conventional takeoff, so you can take off like a normal aircraft. Just don't use the hover jets. Rotate at 150, 160 knots. But where's the fun in that? You have short takeoff and vertical landing, which is sort of a half and half. So you sort of accelerate to 50 knots, fire off the hover jets. You take off at 50 knots. Or you have the hover takeoff, which is what we're going to do, more fun. You take off vertically and then accelerate, add thrust with the main engines, and then you turn off the hover jets. So yes, that's what we're going to do, and hopefully survive in one piece for the short flight over to Zurich. As I said, it's about 40 nautical miles over Lake Constance. We'll fly around 250 knots, and then yeah, we'll do a touch and go. We'll do a conventional ILS, and then we'll do a touch and go circuit. Do a landing, and then we'll just fly back here to Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen. There we are. Perfect. So let's release the parking brake and roll onto the runway. So hover takeoff. Both engines are running. Co-pilot vertical mode things on. But yes, you can cheat, guys, if you wish. And there's switches here you can use to help turn the autopilot on to make it easier, to make the hover function easier, but we're not going to use that today. We're going to use it as accurately modelled as it can be, and it's a lot more fun trying it this way as well. Do the three ways include a ground loop? No, Romulus. Right, not using the co-pilot assist mode. Conventional engines are idle. Increase the vertical lift engine. Stick and rudder is required. Gear up. Increase thrust on the main engines, and then we'll climb away. Cool, and I'll use the yoke cam here so you can see what I'm doing. Toga's in chat, might as well. And this remember is the engine 1 and 2 on the left, and this is the hover jet on the right. And then once we're away, we'll make a right turn towards Zurich. This is fun. It's just awesome. Right, are you ready? First ever hover jet takeoff in a live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Right, adding thrust on the hover jet. So have a look here. This is the nozzle degrees. This should point down to 90 when I start adding thrust. There you go, look. And if I just move my head down here, you can see how the thrust levers are manipulated. So it starts adding thrust on the main engines and controlling the vectors automatically for you of the thrust nozzles. So adding more thrust. They're 90% now, and we're hovering. We are hovering. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I am no longer on the ground. Right, so what I'm going to do now, it's pitch nose down and add a little bit of thrust on the main engines. Sort of flies like a helicopter. Add a bit more thrust on the main engines. There's the airspeed alive. 50 knots, 60 knots, 70 knots, adding more power into the main engines now. 80 knots. So it's now becoming less a hover jet and more conventional aircraft. I've got full nose down on the stick. A little less off the hover jets. Gears coming up. And I've got full power now on the main engines and reducing the hover jet to idle. There we are. It's now a conventional aeroplane, 200 knots. There we go. There's 210 knots. Wicked. And we're already picked up the radial 40 miles away. I'll keep accelerating to 250 knots. There we are, look, alive. There's Lake Constance. There's 250 knots. I think it can go faster, but I'll just reduce a bit of power here. Just maintain 250. And there we are, on our way. Look at this thing. Unbelievable. I could do some manoeuvres if you like. Try and do a stall. I was doing it on the test sector earlier. Gets to around 150, 160 knots and doesn't want to fly anymore. Also has flaps. We'll maintain 2,500 feet. Take a bit more power off. And we're flying already directly on the radial. So here's the HSI I'm using. The range is in the top right, 36 miles. And bound on the 249 course. A bit fast. Just get back down to 2,500 feet. Fly 20 feet above the water. On the way back. On the way back. It has a rudimentary autopilot as well, so you can maintain altitude. Altitude heading and flying bound on a radial as well. There we are. It's very static. It feels, you know, it's like a, you know, you let go. I mean, I have got live weather off, so it's sort of holding the altitude really nicely with very little input. Right, how much fuel have I got? Started off with 50%. I'm down to 42. I've used 10% of the 10% of 20% of what I had at the start. You might need to refuel in Zurich. There we are. We've already crossed Lake Constance. We're about a sixth of the way to Zurich. I shall now do a aileron roll for you, for your entertainment. Just climb to 1,000 feet per minute. It's very manoeuvrable. I've lost a lot of height in that manoeuvre, yes. We'll excuse the 300 feet loss in height. There we go. Back up to 2.5. Sorry to all the troops in the back. There we are. Very good. Was this ever used, Nabil? Yeah, so in the video description, guys, check out the video from Mustard on this aircraft. I don't think it was ever used in any military application, just really testing. Last spring I was in unpronounceable place, Friedrichshafen, flying a Zeppelin. Of course, I also looked at the plane in the Dornier Museum. What a cool aircraft! Yeah, it's in the Dornier Museum, which is where we're just taking off from. So yeah, we're flying on the radial, guys. You can see here if I adjust the inbound course, you can see how the beam's moving. So 27 miles, we're almost halfway. I think I'm going to have to climb to 3,000 feet now because of the terrain. So let's zoom on up. Great performance. Perfect. Can anyone tell me what runways in use in Zurich in real life? And I'll plan for that. Because you can fly an ILS. Approaching 3,000 feet. James, thanks to 22 bubs, buddy. Terrain. Ah, it's all good, it's all good. All good. All good. Perfect, there's 3,000 feet. Amazing. Right, take a bit of power off. I don't know how to get the flight directors aligned to anything. Perfect. Long cat, what on earth is this thing? Everyone just tuning in for the first time. It's the Do-31. We're already halfway to Zurich on this sector. Wind is 0408. So are they going to be landing on 3-4? Zurich's landing on 1-4. Perfect. Ah, okay. Well, we're coming in from the east, so what we can do, we can break off downwind. Or sort of, no, what we'll do, we'll fly over the top, break off for a right-hand downwind for runway 14. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to have to refuel in Zurich. We started off with 50% full, and we're down to 42. We might be okay. We might be okay. So you know, if you want to sort of fly this jet and relax for a bit, you can. So let me get it nailed at 3,000 feet here. There we are, 3,000. Just get it trim nose down. Perfect. And to turn on the autopilot, you press Z, and I can have a look, radio hold and altitude hold. So now it's going to fly inbound on the radial. Oh, I say altitude hold. Was it still climbing? There we are. I think it's pitching down now to maintain altitude. So you can have it maintain altitude and, of course, inbound to a radial. So you can just sort of relax for a short while. There we are. It does look like some sort of wonder weapon. Yeah, it's something you've seen on Wolf. Is it Wolfstein or something like that? 15 miles to go to Zurich. We've already travelled 25 miles. No auto throttle. It seems to be nicely planted at 250 knots. It's just such a bizarre thing. You can see Jim and I having a good time. As I said, we'll do a touch and go first off the ILS, and then we'll do a hover landing onto the runway. Looks like the first aeroplane I drew as a child in the build. Classic. That's awesome. Right, so what I'm going to do is match the heading. Now, there we go. We'll go to heading hold. Guess that does that. Is it now following heading and no longer the radial? Yes, it's now following the heading log. Cool. So what we'll do, we'll set up for runway 14. Can't believe I'm saying up an ILS for this. I presume runway 14 has an ILS on it. Approach ILS 14. It does. The frequency is 11175. See if this works. Right, I've tuned the ILS up now. Oh, good. We got DME distance. That's looking good. Brendan, stop cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm literally navigating conventionally. I'm on heading hold now, so because we've got no wind, Zurich will be on the nose. Here also, the Messerschmitt VTOL fighter was also in man in the high castle. Would like to see that in a flight sim. Oh, cool. Never heard of that jet. So Zurich will be coming up ahead. Look at this thing. Who dares me to take this on a VATSIM flight? You can do it. It's got autopilot hold, altitude hold flight to radials, no problem. I think you can even get it to fly an ILS. It's got an approach mode. No, but I think you can do somehow. So yeah, as I said, if you're new to it, you can use these assist functions to help you. Yeah, for $10, a bit of fun, isn't it? So it's worth it. Not if it was $30, $40, but it's $10. Ah, look, there's Zurich. We're going to be landing on runway 14. So we're going to go right over the top. This should shoot through the localizer. So what we're going to do is fly over the airfield and then fly the reciprocal of 14. So on a heading of 320. Cross the channel. Yeah, no problem with this. How much fuel have I used now? Oh, it seems to be a lot more. Yeah, it's the hover jets, so remember, that burn all the fuel. So when you're hovering, that's when it's guzzling the gas. When you're actually in the conventional cruise mode, it's actually not too bad. It does have a little tablet here if you want to cheat. Down there. There you go, there's Zurich. Right over the top of Zurich. No ATC call. So there, we're going to land on runway 14 then, okay. Oh well, we're going to do a touch and go off the ILS first. So we'll disconnect the autopilot now. So you'll see the lights extinguished. There we go. So we're going to land the first one conventionally, so let's turn downwind. Heading 320. Start slowing down. So, reducing power on the main engines. What's the elevation here? 1,400 feet. It's got the DME. If you look at the HSI, we've got a DME distance there. That's already at 1. Just going to reduce the speed to 200 knots. It says on the guidance, full flaps 160 knots is the final approach speed. On the test sector, I tried 130, 140, but it was sort of dicing with death a little bit. He's at 2. I'm going to go out to sort of an 8-mile final. The platform altitude's 4,000 feet. I'm already at 3,000. No chin cam today, no. So, I need to start the hover jets. Oh no, we're going to do a conventional approach on the first one, so I won't start the hover jets. So there's 200 knots. I'm going to hold it at 200 now. Add a bit of thrust on the left engine. Let's fly a little bit more downwind. Only 2 miles. Oh, I've gone very wide out actually. Let's just fly downwind. So I want to just maintain 3,000. There we go. Perfect. So 3 miles out. So we'll go out to 8. After the touch and go, we'll go around for a hover landing. So that the hover jets are off at the moment. To turn all of them on quickly, you can press this black button here to turn on the hover jets. You know what? I mean, there's not much. If one of these hover jets doesn't work, remember I have 8 jet engines. What if one doesn't work? What's the redundancy like? Going a bit fast. Remind me to drop the gear, please. We're out at 5 miles. 5 miles, we want to be at 3,000 feet, so just balloon a little bit there. So again, I'm downwind here. You can see the glide slope deviation bar is actually now moving up, which is good. So we're going to wait till 8 miles. David says, what is this thing? It's one of these! So we self-position onto the ILS. 7 miles. Cool, so what I'm going to do is now start a turn on base, maintaining 3,000 with a bit of thrust. I'm going to take a natural flops, which is this button here. Oh, crikey, I've flown through the localizer already. Oops, we'll intercept from the other side. That's the stall warning horn. We'll just maintain 150. I was a lot tighter than I thought. We're still below the glide, so that's fine. We'll just maintain 3,000 and 150 knots. I've done a lot of power in the turn here, so the amount of lift required is increased. Doing around a 30-degree angle of bank turn. Get it back up to 3,000. More power. Right, that should do as an intercept heading. There's 3,000. I would have fired my IR of this aircraft. Oh, localizer alive. Oh, I can see the runway. Perfect. Yeah, that's okay. Just the crit approaching. Right, I'm going to drop the gear now. So we're going to do a conventional approach on the first one. Another natural flops. 150. I'm going to approach at 150. Oh, hold on. Am I lined up on the right runway? Oh yeah, I am. I just haven't quite. 14. Is this runway 14 straight ahead? It has to be. Or is it runway? Yeah, we're gonna land on this one. I think I've got the wrong ILS tuned. No, I don't think so. Hold on. Is this... Oh, look, it wasn't aligned. Yes, that's more like it. It's all good. It's all good. Right, 150 knots. On glide. On localizer. I'm looking at the CDI down here. Yes, there's a bit of gyro drift. Right, 150. Gears down. Green lights. There we are. I can see it's... Oh, this is not easy. Look at the little flaps, the little trailing edge flaps between the engine sort of nacelles. Right, hover jet's off, so I'm only using the left thrust lever. On glide, on localizer, 150 knots. Touch and go. Right, shoot straight ahead. centre line. Localizer showing fly right. A little bit less power now. Have I got full flaps? Yes. Oh, that little gauge is in the way. That's better. 2 reds, 2 whites. Look at this. Pro Dornier Do-31 pilot. I'm not going to cut the power though. I'm going to land with a bit of power because I don't want to lose all that lift. I hope enough of pitch authority. I'm going to do a very early round out. That'll do. Oh, our full power. Rotate. Ah, no problemo. Look at that. Touch and go. I'm always tempted to do a celebratory barrel roll, but I'm too low to the ground. I'm too slow. I seem to have a lot of lack of power. Right, anyway, we're going to sort of start the hover jets up now. So if you press this black button, it does it for you automatically. So watch the corner, these gauges. So you'll see the RPM start increasing. There you go, look, it's already had light up. So the hover jets are spooling up. The 8 engines, look, you can see the doors have opened. What we're going to do is swing round onto the other runway here. I don't know when it tells you when the engine started. I'm only doing 130 knots. I've left the gear down as well. Yeah, I think we're good now. So I'm going to. Yeah, we are. We have the hover jets. So I'm adding thrust on the hover jets now, and reducing thrust on the main engines. So we're going to land on the not reciprocal runway, the other runway in Zurich. So yeah, 120 knots. Adding power on the main, the vector, the hover jets. So I'm sort of flying half and half at the moment. Back towards Zurich. So we're going to sort of approach the... Oh, I'm very high. I am very high. Okay. It's all good. So I'm going to... Right, I'm sort of cutting power on the main engines. It's all good. It's all good. We can recover this. Okay, we're sort of level. And we're dropping... Oh, there's not much trim authority. Do I just chop the power on the main engines? Oh, crikey. Right, I'm only doing 90 knots, so I would have stalled if it wasn't for the hover jets. So we're going to really reduce power on the main engines now. 80 knots indicated. Oh, now we're dropping. I'm going to pitch down a bit here. Right, 1,000 feet per minute. Crikey. I think it's time to turn on Toby Eye Tracker. Hands free. There we are. This is great because I can sort of look down there when I'm getting close to the hover. I've got no pitch authority, but I think when I fire up the hover jets to full power, I've got no power on my main engines now. It's all hover jets. And we're doing about 60 knots, but I've got full nose back. I think when I activate the hover jet to full power, I should have a bit more pitch authority. My only concern is the fuel gauges. I don't know what this is. We're in one of these. A Dornier Do-31. Right. I'm adding more power to the hover jets. Ah, that's giving me more pitch authority now. There you can see the runway down there. Alright, I'm really slowing down now. 40 knots. Whoa! Crikey! Stability! What's happened? Why have I going? I've got full right, and I'm having. That's only just keeping my wings level. What happened there? This is what happens when you don't use the assist functions. Right, I'm meant to be over the runway, ladies and gentlemen. Recovering. Right, I'm going to try and yaw it round. Oh, crap. It's so unstable. Must not cheat and use assist functions. Hover jet's almost on full. Roll round, roll round, roll round. Right, there's the runway. Okay, we're good. Right, let's Let's get over the runway. Right, we're in control. We're in control. It's all good. You are. I'm gonna have to try and land on the helipad later in Friedrichshafen. Right, there's the runway. Toby eye tracker, thank you. Alright, so let's get it into a hover over the runway. Right, full power, full power, full power. There we are, okay. Right, hold on. Right, we're stationary. This reminds me of my first helicopter lesson years ago. Oh, we'll take that! Power to idle on the hover jets. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zurich. Oh, superb! That's awesome. We're down. Right, what we're going to do is taxi to the threshold of whatever this runway is, and then we're going to go back to Friedrichshafen. Let me just check the fuel gauges here. Oh dear, that was epic. Fuel. We had 50% at the start. We're down to 33. I think we've got sufficient fuel. It's the hover jets. Kill your fuel here. Right, actually, you know what? We'll stop here, and we're going to do the only other takeoff which is available. We've done a hover takeoff. We're going to do the short field takeoff now. So parking brake is set. So we're going to go straight here to checklists. I'm going to retract the flaps. Let's do the short takeoff procedure. There we are. So both conventional and vertical engines are running. Co-pilot vertical. No, we're not cheating. We're not using that. Parking brake set. Increase the conventional engines. Parking brake release at 50 knots. Increase the vertical lift engines. Stick and rudder is required. So we're going to add thrust on the left quadrant for engine 1 and 2, which is here, and then 50 knots will fire up this one here to hover, and then we'll make a left turn to fly back to Friedrichshafen. Now we're going to work off backwards from the radial here. Oh, I just realised I'm on yoke cam. So we're going to make a left turn. So the reciprocal of 249 is going to be 069. So we'll set the course to 069. Just go back to idle here. 069. We'll work backwards, and the VOR from Zurich is 11485. So we're not going to use Navigraph or anything to get back. There we go, so that's now pointing outbound from the radial in Zurich. So we're just going to work off backwards. Once we're 40 miles away, we should be over the airport there. Good. At least landing was smooth. It was good, and we're going to try and land on the helipad then on the way back. See how we get on. So let's do the short vertical takeoff procedure now. So we'll turn off Navigraph, turn on yoke cam, release the parking brake. There we go, we're already rolling. So we'll add power on the main engines. There's full power, and when we get to 50 knots, I'm going to jam up the vertical one. So there's 50. Oh yes! Oh, why is the nose go? Oh, full nose! Oh god! Oh, let's not go backwards. Right, now I can slowly reduce the power on the vertical nozzles. Gears up, flaps up. 200 knots. Let's reduce the power to idle on the nozzles, and we're only on the main engines. The eight vertical engines have been shut down. Let's go back to the museum where we need to lock you up and never fly you again. Make sure to nose down so you something to land, said GT. I'll try my best. There we are. Look how steady it is. I've got no inputs in at the moment. It's just holding the angle. I bet you can do that in the room. Anyway, it's a bit of fun. Right, so I'll intercept that radial outbound now. There's 3,000 feet. Oh my gosh, my speed! 300 knots. Let's do 250. Reduce to idle. There we are, 250. 3,000 feet coming up. Just go on this intercept heading. Make sure to land nose down so you stick the landing. Roger. So yes, I'll ask you in chat, would you like me to land on the helipad in Friedrichshafen or the runway? I think I know what the answer will be. There we are, radial's coming alive on the HSI. We're slowly turning right to intercept. And when we're at 40 miles, we should be over the airport. Again, this is where I'm looking. Oh, again, watch the power. We're only doing 300 knots. How's the fuel? Again, it's the hover jets. It's what kills the fuel. There we are, 3,000 feet on the radial, flying outbound. It's great fun. This is just a fun little thing. $10. I've enjoyed it. There we are. Roll out now. Yeah, I think we could have a laugh and take this on VATSIM for a flight. I could do it, and actually, I think I'll probably have to fly conventionally. They'll be like, "What aircraft are you in?" I'm like, "Dornier Do-31, sir." There's no difference to the Fearless 747 or old school navigation at all. It's all good. There we are. Just imagine if they fired this up in the museum, took it to Zurich and back. Right, it's all in trim almost, not quite at 250 knots, but we're level at 3,000. Oh, it's very nice and easy to fly conventionally. Okay, cool. So let's lower my workload further. Autopilot on, radio, altitude hold. There we are. So now it's tracking on the radio, holding 3,000 feet. And I can have a look at chat! 2 tons, helipad, lawn dart has been requested. Just point the thing down 90 degrees. Is it a Simbri profile available? I doubt it. The helipad, of course you guys said the helipad. Brilliant. Please try captain through the 320 full motion sim today for the first time. Does that qualify me to tell the cabin crew that I can take over if there's any problems up front? Yeah, have a go. 15 miles from a 40, we should be directly over Friesland. Yeah, it's definitely got gyro drift because I keep pressing D and it keeps realigning. I'll give you a little cockpit tour whilst we're back here. This is where the... oh, it's loud, isn't it? I just realised how loud the sim is. I'll just turn it down a bit. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Dante, 46 months. What a funny aircraft. Congratulations, training captain. Well deserved. Yes, I'm now a fully qualified training captain on the Dornier, if you want any hints or tips. I better actually send a cockpit because I don't know what the trade's like out here. If you want any tips on the Dornier, I'm your man. There we are. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your support as a member. Oh, there we go. Back into the cockpit. Yes, there's a little bit of a mountain ridge here. There's Lake Constance ahead. And again, 40 miles, we should be bang over the airport. I'd love to play the Thunderbirds theme tune right now, but I will have the video taken off YouTube. Look at that, it's just ridiculous. How does it not have a magnetometer to slay the HSI? No, I know, I have to keep... Where is the compass? I'll just keep aligning it every 10 minutes, won't I? But I was reading about this, what AnyBuild said on their website, and on the Mustard video, linked in the video description below. It actually has a computer on it, an analog/digital computer that worked out all the different amount of thrusts required from all the engines. I think, remember, there's 4 engines in each of these pods. There's a little thing here. I guess if it didn't have that, it would be unstable in pitch. Yeah, quite a phenomenal bit of kit. Ahead of its, well, it was groundbreaking at the time. Hi Anthony, hope you're doing well, buddy. Oh yes, 2 tons. You did take a passing across the pond. Hope you had a good sector. 25 miles. Oh, I think we've got loads of fuel left, haven't we? Loads of fuel. Yeah, 29%. We started off with 50. So yeah, as long as you fly conventionally, you'll be grand. All that clever stuff and no slaved HSI, I know. They could have at least done that. Yeah, it's got... I don't know what... I don't... Oh, flight director's on. What have they... Ah, okay, they'll be following the autopilot, I guess. What else do we have here? Oxygen. Undercarriage down. Fuel test. Some of it's not modelled. Ejector seats. Look down here. These aren't modelled. Ah, it's fun. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? Look at that. Just shows you radial and distances are accurate. That's the airport straight ahead. Mr. Pye, sadly it seems too overcomplicated for what it wanted to achieve today. The Osprey does a way better job of it. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Osprey is in active use. Is only for the US Air Force, but I think in development that had a lot of incidents and a lot of people killed testing it, didn't it? 3 letters came to mind. Why? Watch the mustard video. Right, that airport's coming up straight ahead now, so I'm already going to turn off the autopilot. So autopilot's off, my controls. I'm going to start up the hover jet, so I'll start reducing power to idle. Press this button to start up the 8 engines in the pods. See they're spooling up already. Vents are open. I think there is a helipad here. I might have to do a bit of a recce first. There's 200 knots. I'm going to maintain 200 knots. We'll drop down to 2,000 feet. Just need a few puppets. I actually owned 2 Thunderbirds films on VHS. I had the 2 films they made. Zero X. I remember this. Zero X. Who remembers Zero X Thunderbirds with the thing that went to Mars? And Thunderbird 6, which was a Tiger Moth on the airship. Airship 1 or whatever it was called. I used to love Thunderbirds. My dad had them all on VHS for me growing up. Right, runway straight ahead. So the hover jets are on. I'm now going to go idle on my thrust. Turn off the flight directors. There we are. So we approach the runway. I'm going to take a natural flops now. Drop the gear. Drops down very quick. Thanks to gravity. A yoke cam on for your entertainment. We're down to 150 knots. I need to find a helipad. Kanokki, thanks to your €6 donation. That won't ping because I've got the yoke cam up. It says German Air Force performed the art of air fencing in the 60s. So this is what's regarding the nose. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your donation, buddy. Right, so adding a bit of thrust on the thrust vector engines. Oh yes, I can feel the increase in lift. Oh, I need to click back into the Microsoft Flight Sim so I can... Yeah, that's better. Right, there's 100 knots. Yeah, absolute Longcat, I remember. Yeah, it was on BBC Two, wasn't it? Simpsons and Thunderbirds. You just finished score. I was like, oh, this is just heaven. Right, a bit more thrust on the hover jets. 80 knots. I've got no thrust on the conventional jets now, so our fuel burn will be off the scale. I need to find a helipad. I presume it has a helipad. Actually, this is actually pretty good for a hover landing. Look at that. Can't teach it. Right, so we'll go down the runway first, and we'll get to the end and try to locate a helipad. 60 knots. Perfect. Right. Now we've got to find a helipad. So we're almost level. About 40 knots. The hover jet's doing all the work now. Look at this. Just centerline tracking. Right. Hover jet's almost at full now. There we are. So I'm actually pitching forward a bit. And we're just bumbling along around 30 knots above the runway. We'll get to the end and try to locate a helipad. I think there is one at the end here. Hover taxi to apron. It hovers? Absolutely, Mr. Jello. Have you not seen this thing? It's got 8 engines in these pods. A hover taxi then it is. Oh, bit more thrust. I'm sure it's more complex than just adding and decreasing thrust. But it works. New Sky's going to be confused. Don't don't think there's one of these here. Right. Into the runway. I think I can see a helipad. Let me just turn on Toby eye tracker. No. Not yet. Oh, what have we got over there? Was there one at the end? Oh, look, once it's all stable here, I don't mean... Ah, look, helipad's there. I think that's the helipad I saw when I was planning it, so that's what I'm going to aim for. Like, you see, I have to make no inputs on the stick once it's all stable. So I'm going to aim for this here. Right, that's it. It's round. Looks helipad-like. If I overshoot, I'm screwed. Ah, Toby, eye tracker. That's great. Oh, look at my shadow. Right. Oh, crikey. No assistance on, remember. There are features if you wish to make it a bit easier for you, if you wish to have them. Oh, Christ. Oh, we're down. Brakes! Let's see how close we are to the centre. Let me just set the parking brake here. Don't judge. That parking brake is set. Let me just turn off Toby. Oh my! I'll take that. Come on, guys. I'll take it. Brilliant. Oh, superb. Right, I'm gonna go taxi to where we started the stream. Oh, dearie me. Right, flaps are up. We'll turn off the hover jets. Release the parking brake and taxi on into stand. Go put it outside where it belongs in the museum. So much fun. That was wicked. There we are. We're taxiing music as usual. So much fun. Okay, Scott, afternoon to you. Hope you're doing very well. 53 months as a member. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Right, let's do the taxi inflow. So after landing checklist, landing lights are off. I've already turned off my hover jets. Retract. Nav lights off. They're already off. Throttles are idle. Perfect. I've already shut down the vertical engines. Fire trucks waiting on standby. Garfield, I have to pick it up, it's fun. Yeah, it's $10. It's $10, can't go wrong. I'll just ignore the fire truck. Smash. Where did we park? I think it was like around here, wasn't it, at the start? Let's go for 205. Where do they keep it? In the museum or outside here? I didn't actually see before we start the stream. Yeah, for the test pilot, it's supposed to have been crazy, Steph. Very brave. You wouldn't want. I genuinely would not want to fly one of these. Oh, no, I'll try not to prong the stairs ahead. Perfect. Right, parking brake is set. Excuse me, I didn't start the replay tool. Engine shutdown procedure then. So open the start cover. Shut down the engine, so engine 2 master switch off. I'll just move all these off. Oh, that's definitely done something. Awesome. So we'll turn off the fuel pumps for the vertical jets, the fuel pumps for the main engines. Perfect. And that's pretty much it. You just turn off the beacon and shut off the electrics afterwards. Beacon lights off here. Where are you? Where are you? Anti-goal. Perfect. There we are. That's it for today. It's just a fun, short little stream I wanted to have in this aircraft. I think for a laugh we should take on Vatsim one day. I think it would be absolutely Hilarious. Cool, but yeah, as I said, I purchased this myself. Not a sponsored stream at all. I just saw a few previews of it on YouTube. Watched the video years ago from Mustard, and as I said, if you've got a premium copy, I think it's if you've got a premium copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator, you get the Local Legends with I think quite a good discount. It's $10 it costs. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just grab it and have a bit of fun this afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's not a seriously detailed mega modelled aircraft, I don't think, but the flight dynamics are really nice. Conventionally, flies like a normal plane. It flies like the helicopters I've flown in Microsoft Flight Simulator. To set up, it's dead easy. If I turn on YoCam, you've got this for conventional engines, this for the hover jets. You just use a combination of the two, as I did, to land there. So yeah, a bit of fun. Whether we'll see it again, I don't know. As I said, maybe take it on VATSIM for a bit of a laugh, not into a serious event, but one where it's quite easy to navigate conventionally. I'm not going to fly into some place with a crazy RNAV arrival, maybe an island destination with just a beacon on top as well. So yeah, bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, when do we see it again? I don't know. Edo, cheers. Happy birthday to Edo in chat. That's Littoral Games, one of my moderators. I won't share everyone's age with you, Edo, because you might not want everyone to know, but thanks for sharing with me today. Good fun. Thanks to StreamCap, you're most welcome. Longcat's got the emoji there, brilliant. Thanks for popping in, GT. Thanks for subscribing well to the channel. Fish says Osprey bird plus eats fish and fish only. What? Looks majestic in the sky while flying. It does. It does. Yeah, I think so. Listed. Yeah, $10 if you've got the premium version of Microsoft Flight Sim. I guess about 13, 14 if you don't. So not sure what it is there before. Awesome. So I'll log off now. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. I'm back to work on Wednesday, but I've got a couple of videos lined up I want to make regarding the 737 some ops and stuff, which you might find interesting. So be sure to subscribe if you want to be notified and turn on the bell icon. That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio!